Tales from my D&D campaign.
Previously.
Remind me not to touch things. Ever. I don't know, that's where all the fun comes from.
I'll find the path to control.
That's where Alpha's got to be going. It's telling you the most direct path to the control room is to jump off the bridge near the far end.
Jump off? Like, into the lava?
Not directly into the lava, but pretty close, and more than 300 feet down. He said it doesn't care about safety. Maybe we'll find a better shortcut further down. Problem solving really isn't your strong suit. Have you ever found a wall you didn't bash your heads against? Angel notices a secret door facing away from the atrium. Behind the door is another door. No, I'm not kidding. This door is much less hidden. It looks like a very heavy-duty gate with red and yellow hazard stripes. That's not good. Interestingly, this door opens from the middle, where every other one is opened upward. Watch, it's gonna be full of lava. Go ahead and open it. I'm back 50 feet, out of the path of hypothetical lava. I'll try to sound it out. Knocking quietly, you're sure there is open space behind the door, so you doubt it's literally filled with lava. I get a 42 to open it. You succeed, but this one was significantly tougher than the first, and you didn't beat it by all that much. After loud unlocking sounds, it powers open, revealing a 10-foot space, then another door. Does it have any warning signs on it? Same hazard stripes as the first one, though this one opens horizontally. Should we actually be opening these doors? 3 doors? I'm getting out my Geiger counter. Actually, Angel can hear faint voices from the other side, very muffled by the outer door, but it's not airtight. No talking, open the door!
The only thing we've heard talking in here is Alpha.
There is a familiar voice. I know you probably aren't very happy with the creators, but if you think about it, it wasn't all their fault. I'm dead?
I'll cast Fell the Greatest Foe on Angel.
I get plus 2d6 damage against large creatures, and more if they're bigger?
From now on, every fight, casting that on you. Like, all the time.
As long as you have time to prepare. It was Ytarran who showed them the path, encouraged them, and then abandoned them just when they needed wisdom and guidance the most. Like handing a loaded crossbow to a toddler. Open the door! Yeah.
We're going.
Alpha.
You guys is very weird.
When you start trying to open the door, personnel may not enter the Eldritch lab without appropriate protective clothing. Over at the side, a little 4-foot-high door opens up. In the gnome-sized closet are 6 hooks, 5 of them empty. The remaining one has a heavy hooded overcoat with some odd bits, pipes, etc. Raven's pretty sure it's magical. Forget the coat. I'm taking the coat. Just open the door. I'll smack the... Are there any knowledge rolls to know what this is? You could do Knowledge Arcana, or Raven can easily concentrate and figure it out, but that takes like a minute. Yeah, not right now. Open the door. 28? That doesn't cut it. Personnel may not enter the Eldritch lab without appropriate protective clothing. I cast Knock. That'll do it.
Warning, a breach has occurred within the Eldritch lab. Personnel should evacuate immediately.
You hear sounds from within of pipes falling on the floor and the hissing of escaping gases.
We just broke it.
Like the last f***ing place? I'm pretty sure opening the door didn't break anything. No, it's what we're gonna do next. Charge into the room! It's a large room, though relatively poorly lit. The entry hall is flanked by cylinders, tubes like they'd seen in the various labs in Ytarran.
Can I ready a spell?
Sure, you have lots of time.
When Alpha starts talking, I'm gonna, hit him.
What if it's just a hologram? He did have a hologram sort of thing going on outside.
We're not going to wait around for a conversation. I'm just gonna hit him.
Oh yeah, we're charging into the room, and we're gonna hit him. There's no effing around.
Oh man, GM's gonna taunt us. He's probably not even here. Why are we even after Alpha again?
You're pretty sure he's not good. This is the same guy who got you all irradiated at Ytarran. As they pass the tubes, 2 of them have more gibbering mouth or stuff inside them. Eyes and nasty mouths suspended in goo like they'd seen in Ytarran. They either don't die of old age or they've been breeding or something. These 2 just have 2.5 to 3 feet of dirt or dried mud. He's talking to some kind of aberration thing. Mora casts haste. Where's Alpha? This one is empty, not broken, just empty. And this one has a beholder floating in it, in blue liquid. Oh. It's clearly dead, with its big eye missing, and actually the eye stalks are floating limp with no eyes either. Where's Alpha? The room goes further in, but your view is obscured by a destroyed fire suppression golem body here, along with one of the helicopter things and chunks of ceilings that have been brought down. As they move to peer around the blockade, they see two large metal cones near the far wall. Each cone tapers upward, then there's a little gap, then a weird structure on the ceiling, like a cluster of spheres, just slightly overlapping each other. One has some nasty, sinewy flesh stretched up to the top. I don't understand any of this. Where's Alpha? You don't see him yet. Alpha! But you still hear him talking to something. Yes, they managed to kill themselves off. No Ytarrans remain, but they're artificing. The knowledge that led them to this. That legacy survives. It has taken root among the other children of Itaru, the dwarves, now even humans. If you want revenge on that bastard god, I would focus on them.
I don't know what discussion you think you're having, but I'm running in there trying to find him. I'm putting on the suit.
It would have to replace your armor. It counts as a non-metallic chain shirt.
Okay, maybe not then. Instead, I cast Minor Image and drop an image of someone wearing the suit. If the creature saw Ytarrans, they would have been wearing the suit. He's trying to tell it they're all dead, and there's one standing right there.
There's some kind of reaction.
That's a pretty good idea.
You'll be like, he lied to me. You're fooling with my head like they did. It may not go berserk.
Oh, it's going berserk.
But maybe not on Alpha's side.
I don't know, but it's a cool idea. Yeah, I like it. I don't expect it'll work, but the opportunity cost is very low. I'll take cover behind this junk. If you're on the ground here, you have pretty good cover. You guys can get over the debris, but it takes some effort.
With haste, I'm moving at 50. Charge! We still have those one-shot dimensional anchor daggers from the Adar place. We need to dimensional anchor his ass to the floor, tie him down, so he has to fight us. Not sure that would work. His ability works kind of differently.
It may not stop him from transferring, but it would stop him from actually teleporting away.
I put the illusionary Ytarran over here, on top of the wreck. Ahem.
You do seem rather weak, but they carelessly left this blood in security. How long has it been since you tasted life? Yes, you like that.
This taste. Blood of a dragon.
If you say so. The rest of it is waiting out in the hall.
You can get your blood back.
It is a vampire.
Hey, this is Angel's chance.
Don't care, I'm charging in.
Okay, roll initiative. The unknown thing is going on a 26.
It's a vampire. It's a vampire.
And the Dark Ancient is going on a 9. The Dark Ancient? He doesn't have a name? He probably does, but he's never given one.
I told you it was a vampire.
It looks a lot like 6 Beholder eye stalks, but these eyes are each as big as the main eye on a normal Beholder.
Oh my god, they made a mutant Beholder?
Look, it's really hard to farm Eldritch eyes when they double as anti-magic eyes. But the little eyes didn't have enough energy to count, so this self-levitating abomination was already a large orb crowned by many spell-casting eye stalks. Now, altered by bizarre arcane processes, then imprisoned in that cone, its eyes trapped in the dark, its eye stalks all stretched out, unable to do anything for something like 1,000 years, its aggressive nature does not appear to have been mellowed by the passage of time.
Beholders are f***ing terrible.
It can't be that bad. It's a mutant.
But it should be pissed at Alpha. There's an Ytarran standing right there.
I've got news for you. Is it going to be more pissed at the lie, or at the Ytarran?
Well,
a ray streaks right over here. Blah! It never had any real chance to hit Draven. Aimed at the fake Ytarran, and with our Artificer in almost complete cover against it. But the petrification ray streaks by too close for comfort, slightly stonifying a section of metal wall. That was one eye. It gets to use 3. Another ray goes over your head, this one not as close, and these cylinders are shattered by its telekinesis. Oh shit, I positioned them in the right place when drawing out the map. I'm a genius! Angel gets 2 attacks of opportunity against the gibbering mouthers as they emerge from the nearest tube. Their AC is garbage.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, you managed to miss that one. With the not 1 attack, Angel hits one of these lesser abominations for like 20, and though it resists a little bit of the damage, it's bloodied by the hit.
Would it be smart to turn myself to stone with stone form? I'm sure he could still disintegrate me.
Speaking of, Here's the thing. The mutation affected how its disintegrate eye works. So it starts a beam here and sweeps it across, disintegrating some of the ground under the illusion. It wanted more than one shot, but now it's pretty sure it's not a real thing. It does disintegrates damage, but spread over the area. 12d6, Fort 17 for half.
Did you say 12d6?
That's half the damage from a disintegrate spell. It's normally 24d6 if you fail your save, but this is saved for half instead. He deals 46.
I save, so 23, but I reduced it by 8 with my amulet, so 15.
So it's weaker, but also stronger?
It's just different. Angel puts herself in position to cover the NPCs with her reach for free attacks on Nagu things when they move, and makes one attack, bloodying another of them.
So what do we do? Attack the eyeball thing?
Or Alpha?
Which one's the priority? I think the Beholder's more dangerous.
The Beholder's definitely more dangerous.
It's Mora's turn.
She got a fireball or something? She's a bard. I don't know, I'm asking.
Firebard!
She's got a crossbow. She can attack 3 times.
Mora nearly finishes one of the Mouthers, finding their AC to be only 19. Much weaker than anything else in this whole place. Should I fireball those things?
With Liz and Rainbow Dash, they ought to be able to take them out.
If it's using Raise, there's no anti-magic cone right now. If there was anti-magic going on, you'd know it. So Draven wands the Mutant Beholder for a bunch of damage, but next is the Dark Ancient, currently flying a Magma Sifter.
Assuming he's real.
Looks pretty physical. The Temple 1 hologram with Gamma was blatantly illusionary. The possessed Magma Sifter hovers up closer to the ceiling, peeking around but still using the metal cone for cover, and the Dark Ancient drops a psionic area dispel on the forward members of the party.
Alright, I changed my mind. Screw the Beholder.
If you focus the Dark Ancient, he's been pretty adamant about jumping out of bodies before he takes much damage. You may get him to take himself out of the fight. Black, how many buffs do you have?
Oh man, all my buffs.
Well, it's an area dispel, so it can only get 1 buff per target. If it was single target, it would genuinely try against each buff separately. Because this is, instead, an area dispel, it's a pain to adjudicate, but on each target the dispel keeps rolling, keeps trying until it gets 1, or has tried and failed against each of that target's buffs. When it does succeed at a dispel check, it removes that single buff, then stops, moving on to the next target. And we are treating temporary weapon buffs, like when Draven banes their weapons, as a buff on that character, because it creates fewer rules anomalies. Mora loses her haste buff, Black and Little One each keep haste, but lose their Bane Constructs enchantment. On Draven... What, I'm in the thing? On Draven, it dispels your fly spell. Okay, I can live with that. Then it casts another psionic power and disappears. With Draven's phenomenal spellcraft, and we treat psionics just as any other type of magic, he determines that the enemy had cast Dimension Hop, a level 1 swift dimension door type of thing, which would teleport at a short distance, certainly still inside the room.
So it's stuck for 3 rounds.
Stuck depends on your definition.
But he's phased.
What color eyes did Alpha have?
Well, Magma Sifters don't really have eyes, but this is the Dark Ancient with the red eyes.
Where'd he go?
You can't see what his destination was. This place doesn't have TR4's detector. Of course, he can't see what's going on either. He had to choose the spot now, at casting time, but he's phased for 3 turns until he arrives.
Alright, we've got 3 turns to kill this thing. Question, do we flank it, letting it use more eyes? Or are we staying on one side?
Huh?
The limit on how many eyes a beholder can use at the same time is based on 90-degree arcs. If you spread out too much, it can use 3 in one arc, and use another 3 on anyone who has moved into a different fire arc.
Let's not do that.
Is this thing mobile? As far as you can tell, it's still trapped in this cone thing, which doesn't look particularly mobile, at least for now. It's obviously designed to contain the monster, but you can't tell how much damage has been done to the other side.
I'll charge it. Well, move and attack it. Don't know how well this is going to work, because it probably has a massive will save, but Disrupting Blow. Takes 16?
Well, there's no DR.
Thank God. Yeah, first thing we've fought in forever with no DR. Kind of surprised with the can.
I'm treating the cone more as armor, even though that's not what it was intended for. Nope, it failed its save. Your maneuver shocks its nervous system, or chi, or whatever, such that it can't take any actions for 1 round.
Woo! I hit for 20. I could spend the Belt of Battle for another 3 hits.
Save that for Alpha, because we have a free round of licks on this guy.
Right.
Liz, who is outside of the dispel and still has her haste, decides she's better off switching to punishing stance and full attacking rather than using a maneuver, trading defense for more damage. She finishes off one of the gibbering mouthers, then hits another for 18, then rolls a 1. But she killed one anyway.
One down.
The mutant beholder misses his turn due to the disrupting blow. One of the mouthers tried to shoot some credit Angel, but she dodges the ranged touch attack. Another moves up, eating another free attack from her. But instead of attacking, the abomination used some Eldritch power to transform the floor around it into quicksand.
My stance?
No. This is much worse than difficult terrain. It's a bizarre supernatural ability. You'll have to suck it up and move out. While in the quicksand, you have to spend a move action each turn to avoid being pinned. The third surviving Mouther hits you with a ranged touch attack, DC 18 Fortitude save, or be blinded.
Made it.
I find it funny that these crummy CR5 monsters have a tougher save DC than the Beholder.
Stone's a Fortitude save, right? Bring it on. I have plus 24.
The quicksand's not big enough to stop Rainbow Dash, since 2/3 of her is perfectly grounded. But the remaining gibbering mouther oozes over the broken tubes and stuff, and spits at Draven. Why not? I know why not. Oh, I rolled a 1. You're so lucky. These guys have like 6 special things. You guys are just de facto immune to most of them because you have more stats than their CR5 asses are designed for. They seem pretty sick for CR5.
I'm assuming Alpha's going to appear somewhere over here and try to escape, because he's a chicken shit.
Or a mastermind who doesn't fight people like you if he can have someone else do it for him. Mora only gets 2 attacks now, having lost haste. She shoots a mouther for 11, then misses, rolling another natural 1. I forgot about their special abomination power to make the players roll 1s. I could attack this thing, but I don't like getting spittled at. Don't you think it would be funnier if you'd been blinded? No. I'll Wonder Force the Beholder. Take 41. It's pretty badly beat up now. There are holes and gashes all over your side of the cone, and no small amount of blood spatter. Good. Then I duck some more. Little one hits the can beholder twice for a total of 32 damage, then Black bashes it for 14, then 20, then kicks it for 10 with the extra attack from his helm, and then rends it for an extra 7 from his rending gauntlets, with shards of metal falling away. It's very dead. The question is, which one of its eyes goes off? It wasn't really a question, though. One bloated mutant eye stalk explodes in a big disintegration blast for 43 damage, Fortitude for half.
Hey, it was another amulet charge.
So it did do damage to me.
Then you do damage back to it after it's dead.
The eye's explosion also flings the other 5 eyes around the room.
I know he's gonna be around here or something.
Watch him show up and explode the eyes. I'd be very unhappy.
We're both hasted. Black and I can grab them.
Should we feel bad for this thing? I almost feel bad for it now.
You put it out of its misery. Beholders aren't the happiest things to begin with, and this one is probably better off dead. So while they obliterated the mutant beholder before it could do hardly anything, half the mouthers are still alive and spitting up a storm with their blinding spittle ability. Liz saves. One actually misses Rainbow Dash, even though it's a touch attack. That was awesome. But hits Angel. Fort 18? Nope. Angel's blinded for 3 rounds. Now she can't hit him with the Dimensional Anchor dagger when he shows up. Mora also gets blinded for 2 rounds, so she puts away her crossbow, gets out her violin, and starts playing to inspire greatness in Draven with her bard abilities. And somehow, even blinded, Angel hits 2 out of 3 attacks, finishing a mouther and almost killing another one.
You should blind yourself more often. Can Rainbow Dash trample those damn things?
No, there's still supernatural quicksand all around them. Rainbow Dash just kicks them, rolling terrible for damage, but by now, all remaining gibbering mouthers are near death, and the Dark Ancient is due to pop out of teleportation limbo any time now. I guess I'll ready my action for Alpha to reappear.
You can Dimensional Anchor him with one of the daggers.
I'm not really close enough.
You could throw it. What's the range increment on a dagger?
Raven can do a charge attack. Mora's giving you extra hit points. Or you could just toss it over to me and Black.
Tough decision.
What was his strategy here?
He probably expected the monster to last longer. He probably assumed it would disintegrate the crap out of us.
It had a lot of things that could take people out of the fight if it hadn't lost an entire turn. Now, technically, all fight we should have been rolling for the Mouther's Confusion aura. The save DC is low enough that it wasn't worth the massive amount of bookkeeping, but we're gonna roll for it now because this is the round it's most likely to matter. You two, Black,
how far does it go?
60-foot radius. Holy crap! Despite the moment of concern, everyone saves against the paltry DC 13, except Rainbow Dash, who is confused into inaction for her next turn. Still blind, Angel hits again, rolling near max damage and killing the Mouther. Eyes and teeth and flesh spattering all over the place.
She's like a blender walking around.
Black and Little One have been rushing around, hasted, collecting the Beholder's eyes, hoping to use them as spell components for teleportation. Now, Little One retrieves the last 2 orbs, while Black readies in action, and each of them stakes out a different corner of the room, since they don't know where the possessed Magma Sifter will reappear. So they're all ready when the 3rd round ticks down, and it reappears here. Oh, what? Right back where he was? Yes, he bluffed you all, because he thinks he's way smarter than you guys.
I expected better from that thing. That's what I get for counting on worthless biologicals. Dagger him. Oh well, I've got to go. You know how it is. Places to be, continents to devastate.
Dagger him.
Dagger him.
Who's got the dagger? I do?
Seems so. It's going to be pretty hard because of the cone in the way. This is the time to roll that 20.
Gah!
Or not.
Clink, clink, clink.
I have a ready action though. I charge him. Oh, that's not going to hit, is it?
You charge over and just as he disappears, you smash a huge dent in the wall. The Dark Ancient doesn't even notice this shockingly dangerous dagger attack, which could have trapped him in the room with them, and he dimension doors just as they predicted. Good thing you grabbed all the eyes, though. He would totally have flown over and landed on some first. Son of a... that jerk.
Damn it. Wish we had... Son of a... Stopping him was the only reason I wanted to be in here.
That's... and loot.
They mop up the last of the Mouthers, then, once they peek out into the main hall and find no sign of the Dark Ancient, they take a quick breather to do some minor healing and to identify the code. The gnome-sized Handler's gear counts as a non-metallic chain shirt +3, so just slightly less AC than the basic +4 chain shirt Angel had Draven craft for her, but this suit also grants fire resistance 12, +3 to saving throws versus abilities or spells of abominations, and grants Bane abominations to any weapons or unarmed attacks wielded by the wearer. Sweet! Also, once per day as a free action, it can give the wearer 1d4 +2 Polaron charges.
Wait.
To the wearer? Yep, and you control it. Yes, it's a free action by the wearer. Why would you want to give yourself charges? However, searching around the ruined Eldritch lab, they discovered another magic item. It's an inanimate carbon rod! The Catalytic Polarizing Reconstructor is a rod with a range of 60 feet. As a standard action, it converts all Polaron charges on a single target into healing at a rate of 1d6 per charge. Maximum healing 10d6 per activation, though all charges are removed even if there are more than 10.
Well, I guess that's why. With the coat charges.
Interesting. But the rod does 2 things, because it's also preventing those charges from being used for damage. I wonder if things like this are how they are repairing the golems so fast.
They're just sitting around giving each other charges?
Possibly. They are now close to the bottom of the atrium, as they round the next corner after the Eldritch Lab's hidden door into yet another covered bridge. This is not actually the bottom bridge, though. There's one more that you can't see on the map because it's directly below the top bridge. A little stubby one leading across to the dome in the center of the artificial lake of lava at the base of the facility. But this is the last full-length bridge. The last one before the core.
What lies in the deepest levels of Polaron? Next time on Tales from My D&D Campaign.
You can just climb over the pile of golems.
Angel just goes...
First of all, I don't go first. Second, I don't climb. Okay, so Draven can still fly, but he can't gain altitude, because apparently Draven doesn't climb. Damn it,